Welcome to The Traveling Introvert. Today I'd love to talk about systems, follow-up systems specifically. I've talked before about networking at events, and one of the questions that's come up has been, how do you keep track of all the people you need to talk to, and when you last spoke to them, and what you talked about? And so I want to share with you the system that I use. And I discovered the system maybe 6 months ago, and I've been using it to help with a virtual summit that I'm doing, but I also found multiple different uses for it. So the system is called Streak for Gmail, and so it is specifically for Gmail, so if you don't have a Gmail account, it won't help. But this is not just for someone who has their own business. If you are in a job and you want to follow up with people, you've been to networking events, and you just want to keep track of, that person's interesting for whatever reason it might be, this piece of software it's an app, is great. So there's tutorials for it, and it is kind of set up in such a way that it creates a flow. So it will say, where did you meet this person, like their email address, their name. You can put phone numbers in there. You can add notes. You can, for example, I met this person at Ecky's event, or they talked about whatever it might be. And then you can set yourself a follow-up, and it will pop up in your email and remind you, hey, you haven't spoken to such and such in a while. You said you wanted to send a follow-up email. And so then it automatically reminds you. And for what I've used it for is you can move them through a flow. So you talk to them, their prospect, or prospective person that you want to talk to, a prospective client. You could then go through and say you contacted them. You could then go through and be like, they didn't message back. You contacted them 3 times, and then you might move them away and out of your system. You might have contacted them and they said, contact me back in 6 months. At this point, you go into your system and set a reminder for 6 months' time, or 5.5 months. So it reminds you to go back and talk to that person or email them or what you talked about. You can track phone calls as well as emails using this system. And I've just found it invaluable because although you think you will remember, invariably you don't, or other stuff gets in the way. And so this will send you an email and be like, hey, you said you needed to speak to this person. And it has the whole history of what you talked to this person about, as long as you put it in. It will also just track emails. So if, for example, this person said, contact me in 6 months, and yet somehow you managed to send a couple of emails in between, you'll be able to see that entire history. And so as someone who likes to follow up with people, I found this incredibly useful. There are many different ways to track how you follow up with people, and follow-up is important. Even, for example, with people who reach out to you for a book recommendation, or they want to talk to you but can't do it right now, or just for you, if you're scouting for, maybe you're redoing your house and you're looking at contractors. You could keep your contractors in this list, even if you don't need it right now. And then when you come back, you have a pool of contractors that do various things that you can pull from because the information is right there. You can use it for household things. You could use it for, you might be looking for vacation stuff. And I've definitely used it to put in there like cruise vacations or all-inclusive vacations. And you put the links and everything in there, and maybe prices or like a screenshot. And then you can go back and be like, okay, so let me see what the pricing is now on this and what the pricing is on that, and move it through. And so you've booked it, and then you can maybe write a review in your mind and in the app of what you thought of it and whether you go back again. And if you could go back again, you could keep it in your streak. And if you don't want to go back to it, then you would take it out of your streak or put a note like, do not go back to this place. It's a great tool, and it's free. So that's my little bit of feedback on how to follow up with people and how to keep track more than anything. It helps you put a system in place to keep track of following up on various items. Thank you very much. This is Janice, the Traveling Introvert. If you have any questions, please email me at janice@thecareerintrovert.com. See you next time.